the common sense center of the right is not labeling even the left, the far left, or the even the middle left with the same kind of vitriol that we're hearing coming back at us. We're not. We're like, hey, do you have different ideas? Do you have different goals? Let's talk. Are you socialist? Let's talk about your socialism and why we think it doesn't work. But we're not calling you an existential threat, and we're not calling you, killers or something, unless you start continuing to call us Gestapo and Nazis, which is encouraging the fringe nihilists to start shooting at us.
One thing during Biden's reign, no one on this show referred to him as Hitler. What they were doing with Twitter, especially the fascist regime affecting and controlling the corporate media, we still didn't fall back on ad hominem attacks and likening him to a terrorist threat. It was just like, look, we're going to create better leadership and we're going to change this.
The closest I can think of that is when he gave that speech with the all red background.
Yeah. Even then it was authoritarian.
Yes, it was
there were comments of authoritarianism, of militancy, but the right stopped short of actually calling him a fascist or at least of Nazi or something like that. Maybe there were people that said fascist, but that was a little hyperbolic.
It was using weird imagery that didn't make sense. But we don't even know what to call somebody when we're being called fascist. What's the opposite?
I think there is a segment of the right, especially after what happened to Charlie Kirk, where they're using the term demonic and they're referring to that. There is that labeling of their views as demonic, and that was all in the wake of what happened to Charlie Kirk, and that would be the closest I can think of on the right is their label for those on the other side.
Probably.
Well, let me just say
right.
The difference is my father and my father-in-law fought in World War II, fought against Nazis, fought against, I knew somebody who was one of the first guys into Auschwitz. So that's real evil. And yeah, we have to have organized ways of fighting real evil. But when it comes to spiritual evil, we're talking about a spiritual battle. So we're not using guns to fight a spiritual battle. But coming back at us now is actual kinetic weaponry.
It's our culture. It's what we believe. It's how we see the world.
Yeah.
There was one interesting thing. When you go on these shows, shout out to Jesse and Fox, you only get a couple minutes, right? It's like one or two questions. I think the last time I went on, I just talked for like 4 minutes and then he jumps in. But he made this point earlier in his opening that on the left, they're saying, we're at war. And, we have to fight and do whatever we have to do to win that war. The right's saying that too. I think it's absolutely fine. There's going to be a lot of liberals and they're going to say, oh yeah, well, Alex Jones was saying that shit, just that. And I'll say, indeed he was. But I want to make this clear. We didn't start a war. I didn't.
No.
When they censored me and silenced me, when they accused me of lies and tried to smear me to my own friends and family, and then when they showed up to events that I was putting on and threatened to burn down theaters, I never went anywhere near these people. We tried having an event in, I think it's Pittman, New Jersey, and far leftists, Antifa-aligned, threatened to burn the theater down. And so we had planned it for 9 months. 2 weeks out, they cancel on us. And he tells us to screw ourselves. We'll see us. We'll see him. He's like, I don't care. Nothing you say will change the fact they're going to burn my theater down. He's like, you can sue me for everything, but I'd lose my theater either way. I did not go to an Antifa club and threaten them.
Yeah.
They attacked me.
Yeah.
And so it's fascinating to see that we vote, we win. They attack. We vote, we lose. They attack. We vote, we win, they attack again, all the while saying they are at war with us. And now you are getting people on the right saying it's time to wake up. They are trying to destroy us. And that was a huge wake-up call with Charlie Kirk. But I do think Jimmy Kimmel should be a very serious wake-up call for everybody in that according to the reporting, there's a Democrat-aligned individual, a liberal, who shot up an ABC station. And several other affiliates received terroristic threats over the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel, and they gave him his show back.
Yeah.
ABC said, we're more scared of the terror from the left than the concerns from the right.
They also lost 2% of their value. Disney lost 2% stock value.
That's
$4
fake
billion.
news.
Is it really? $3.8 billion?
Amazon lost more.
The stock market dipped, basically.
So again,
correlative.
we are dealing with an unrepentant force. Okay, they are going on X and saying, haha, we did it, boys. Disney just lost $3 billion. They did not lose $3 billion. There's an estimated loss of around $2 to $3 billion market share from the dip of 2%. But if you track the stock market like any sane person, you'll see Amazon dipped more. There's no indication that Jimmy Kimmel, a single show on Disney, caused the entirety of the Disney Corporation, which owns Marvel and Star Wars, to decline. It's the lie they use to justify when the show comes back on the air after a literal terror attack. They then go, it's because we cost them money.
I've been thinking about, because you're saying kinetic warfare of guns and spiritual warfare, and like how do you do this? So I'm thinking you need to forgive your enemies. I know this sounds very weird, but in the metaphor of if you're being attacked over and over and you're like, stop, please stop, and they don't, and you're like, listen, my military is so much, you have no idea the hell that will be rained upon you if you keep doing this. Please stop. And they don't. I forgive you for not knowing what you're doing, but I will still issue whatever it takes to stop that threat.
Divine retribution.
Yeah, and I don't hold any hatred for those people because they didn't know any better.
No, but he's correct.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. To your point, that's exactly what we're calling for. We want the power, we want the government to use its authority to stop this behavior.
Let me. So,
by the way, the government is the place that has the authority to
Yes.
do it, and that is something we're depending upon. That's not the spiritual warfare. The government is not spiritual. It doesn't have to do a spiritual thing. That's where the Bible is set up, the government as the authority that can do this.
To Ian's point, there's a lot of people in the chat saying he's wrong, but he is completely correct. And I believe that there was someone on X who made a great quote that Jesus forgave the thief on the cross, but he did not save his life. The point is, Ian is making a great point. We are not the ones who hold hatred in our hearts and look at them and just say, you know what, I don't care anymore, I just hate you. We're the ones who say, forgive them for they know not what they do, and now round them up, arrest them, these are criminals. Forgive does not mean to just let them run roughshod over the country and destroy everything we love. Right. It means that we won't let ourselves be blinded by hatred. We will think logically and clearly, and we will build a better union and society. I agree with Ian on this one.
Yeah.
It absolutely means use all available legal and lawful authority to stop these violent terrorists and their threats. Just don't hold hate. That's going to blind you. It's going to confuse you. It's going to disrupt your logic. It's bad for strategy. And that's the funny thing, too, about the forgive them for they know not what they do is there's more than just the noble of I am going to be a better person and I'm going to remove that hatred from myself, but I'm not going to spare you. There's also the functional, the scientific, that when you are enraged, you don't think clearly. Yeah. So we need to approach this problem logically. That's why after Charlie Kirk was killed, and I, tear-stricken from seeing this, still said cooler heads must prevail.
Right.
We need to stop, pause, make sure there's no immediate reaction, keep calm, and then assess what the problem is and how to solve it. And I think that is now, especially with this morning, the terror attack this morning, I don't believe that we are looking at a simple solution. The Trump administration declaring Antifa a terrorist organization is good. He's apparently going to have another executive order targeting leftist organizations that are funding these things. I believe they should do all of that. However, I also believe that will escalate the left. That will push them. They will get angrier. But that is no excuse because the alternative is to let them burn everything down.
Yeah.
After we decide, we will use the legal means to stop terrorism. I mean, a man opened fire indiscriminately on a vehicle, and that's how 2 detainees ended up dying.
Yeah.
And the liberals are using that as though he must be right wing. No, he was insane. He hated the right. He heard all of the rhetoric from the left. We need to stop these people with every legal tool we have, and we will be calm and collected about it and stern. And as they kick and scream like demons and banshees, we will not be moved. We will say the job must be done. Off to jail you go.
And regarding this using every legal means, I kind of brought this up before the show. I think about using evil to create order. And sometimes you have your alignment, maybe you're 70 out of 100 good. If you do some evil, it's going to drop your alignment by 10 points. But it may raise your order by 20 points. And we have to discuss openly about what evil we're willing to see and allow to happen.
None.
Because, many people will say, I'm only good, I'm only orderly, nothing. And then they turn a blind eye to the real evil because war itself is killing humans to create order. There is an evil act to create order, and there's a net benefit, ideally.
Killing humans is not always evil.
Yeah.
Well,
I think your definition of evil is problematic. So even the Bible says thou shalt not kill, and kill implies the term murder. If you have to kill to prevent a death of an innocent or self-defense, the Bible says that's fine, and it's not an evil. Now, in the big picture, let me just complete this. In the big picture, evil is in the world because man defied God. And so we have to turn back to God, but we're in the kingdom of Cain. This is where brother kills brother. This is the result of the fall. So if in that big picture, any sort of death is the result of evil, but it's not an evil act to defend the innocent.
The way I see it is like murder will drop your alignment to 0. That is, do not ever, if we become permanent evil or permanent chaos, we lose. Do not murder. But killing in combat, it aligns with society. It's called alignment because we know that's their job. So it is evil, but it's not that evil.
But it's
well, I
not
think
evil.
killing
It's
is
literally
generally
not.
It's not.
That's
they say
just
we're
the result.
Murder,
sinful.
murder is
Ian.
no murder is evil.
I mean,
no. Listen, there's a different word in the Bible for murder and kill.
Yeah.
Murder is evil. Killing is not evil.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.